having the map pick, so they'll get to pick a map here against Black. Remember, Black chose Braxis, which is kind of unusual in itself.
Yeah, that's right. They chose it and they dropped the map against BlossoM, which I think this may actually cost them super big when they're contesting for the top spots. And I did hear BlossoM from Wiz himself and No Chat. They've been practicing super hard, really coming up with all these ideas. And now we get to see this crazy Cho'Gath come with the perfect protection. They win against Black. I think with those experiments, I think they can bring up lots of other things that they've been experimenting. I think this worked out perfectly right now. Maybe it will be a little bit dangerous later on, as we saw Asmodem play last time. It was really not the best, but this one worked perfectly against MVP Black. Maybe we'll see something else happening tonight.
Well, Tomb of the Spider Queen will be our map here for game number 4. This is chosen, of course, by BlossoM. I thought maybe we'd see Infernal Shrines, but we'll take the safer one here. This is a map we've seen a lot of picked often by BlossoM when they win maps, which
it's their favorite.
Yeah.
So, and of course, Malthael again with the wave clear. This is the only battleground we saw 2 ETC picks off of 2 different teams. ETC barely comes out anywhere in the other regions too, but only on this battleground because ETC has a strong pressure on all lanes. ETC is also a great pick.
Saw Gondar pick it last time they played the map, so that's definitely a really good thing that you point out. We'll see it late in the draft if we see it, I'd say. So I'd like to see the Anub'arak ban from BlossoM if it's left available.
This is Spider Queens. So of course the lane pressure, the wave clear is very important for both teams.
Genji banned. I think this should be the Anub'arak ban. It's actually looking towards the Uther though, which will give Black Anub'arak, should they prefer that. Not a great map for Malthael. It's going to be Ariel.
This is it. Because Malfurion went down and Uther is often banned, and there are so many comps with Ariel that you can bring out. There's Vala, there's Tychus, there's a burst damage, and also cooldown with the wave clear. So there are lots of options, lots of team comp you can make with Ariel, so that's why it's the first pick material. But oftentimes, it was countered by Chromie. We also saw it happening on the exact same battleground with Mighty last time. Let's see if BlossoM is ready to bring in the Fnatic in them.
Well, they take out the Malfurion and the Medivh, so the BlossoM style of Malfurion Medivh continues. I wrote the wrong thing on my paper for some reason. I just read it out wrong. So we'll see. They don't want to get support choked here. And we'll see what they want to protect with the Medivh. Okay, Malthael comes out.
With Tyrael, it's going to be the perfect Archangels coming out.
You know, like almost everyone in that last game for BlossoM had hoods because Cho'Gath had the hood skin, and they had the Ariel and Malthael. They're wearing hoods.
That's right. You only need Tyrael to make it perfect.
There was another hood too. I can't. What was it? Let me look back.
Is there?
Medivh, he had the hood as well. Medivh's hooded, so
Yeah.
Hood comp.
That's a thing now, officially.
It's not hoodie weather here in Korea, I'll tell you what. Oh, it's hot out there, man.
It's hot and humid here, as you can tell if you've been in Korea during summer. But Malthael does have a lot of wave clear. Now this is the sky blue comp onto MVP Black now.
So you can just like describe what their comp is based on what color or what their heroes look like. I mean, you could say like Anub'arak's got kind of like a shell hood going on. But Anub'arak is gonna get picked up here. It's no surprise. But what I wanted to say before you made that blue comp reference was the Malthael strong as a solo laner means he can just sit up at top, do that wave clear you were talking about, heavily sustain himself. His abilities don't really cost that much mana, so you just ease the wave, then Qs it to get his health back. And this makes the 4-man rotation a lot stronger for Black. They don't really have to worry about Malthael in the top lane. The Vala coming out as the ban, which will force an unusual Ariel hero here to be used. And the ban on Diablo, which
of course, they do have a very bad memory from MSB against Diablo. So, and this is the map battleground on it. So they are thinking about all the charge into the walls, the stuns. Could be very painful against against Ariel, who has no cleanse. Maybe they're also considering picking a DPS who's very squishy, like Lunara, since Vala is already banned.
Well, with the Diablo banner, it's quite unusual, but we have seen a lot of Stitches Medivh, and I think that that's probably where BlossoM is looking toward. You've got the root follow-up, you can portal with the Gorge. There's a lot of different things you could do with the Stitches Medivh pick here. So Kael'thas as well with the Stitches. Now you've got so many more follow-ups. So I like this a lot. So much CC, so many different ways to pick off and punish Malthael, for example, who doesn't have really any escapes. So I'm actually already kind of liking the draft better for BlossoM here. I know Malthael is strong and has decent wave clear, but this is not specifically a map where he's insanely strong and doesn't really give an insane amount of value here yet, whereas the Ariel pick doesn't pair with anything yet on the draft. But Vala is banned. Do you really want to build Gul'dan into this? I'm not so sure about that, so I'm liking how BlossoM is playing this so far.
They have the hook, so pressuring Gul'dan, of course. Gul'dan will have crazy wave clear on Spider Queens for sure, but if they get one hooks off, even on the Ariel, they will have no escape. That's the thing. That's exactly what they're looking for. And having two mages on BlossoM, they don't have any DPS though. They can get some burst damage out of Kael'thas and also Medivh. And Medivh seemed like he was not really—
Oh my god.
What?!
Oh my god, G-Club.
This is real! It's Cho'Gao from MVP Black this time!
Okay. Well, he got the Anubrag. Can't cocoon him. Aha! Gotcha!
Guys, if you're tuning in right now, you guys tuned at the right time.
You guys came here to watch Stukov, but I bet a bunch of people are logging in right now to get some Cho'Gall hype. People are using their shards right at this moment to buy Cho'Gall. Actually, I'm not even sure if you can buy them with shards. I got them from the event like a million years ago, but anyways, I'm sure people are trying to get that Cho'Gall right now.
Yeah, you can buy with gold, of course, but
yeah.
This is the revenge that MVP Black always look for. They love to have revenge with the same picks.
Well,
I lost my words.
The revenge is real, but they also have Malthael, so no Malthael to counter them. And they have Ariel, and we saw how well that worked last time when Wiz couldn't be killed. So what worked before, I can't be critical of it, so Black is going to try to repeat what we just saw from BlossoM. As we see, Greymane is left available. That's one thing that Black did not have to use against the Cho'Gall because it was banned by BlossoM. So the Greymane here, the Curse Bullet, going to be some extra damage. Kael'thas with the CCs could definitely prevent Cho'Gall from moving, lock him down. It's hard to say who had the better draft against the Cho'Gall. Neither team's having the strongest anti-Cho'Gall draft. And Black bringing it in late into the draft at the end here. So I like the way that they executed this draft. We'll see if they can close it out with their opponent's pick from game number 3 as we move into Tomb of the Spider Queen. In blue, BlossoM with Wiz on Malfurion, Gondar on Stitches, Mora on Medivh, Dudu on Kael'thas, and No Chat on Greymane.
And in red, MVP Black, Reset on Malthael, Sake on Gal, Kyocha on Ariel, Rich on Cho, and Tist on Anubrag. Rich on Cho, and Sake on Gal this time.
They had the gall to pick it, G-Clef.
That's right.
And we'll see how well this works. Kael'thas wondering whether or not to go Convection here or to stick with a more common and safer Mana Addict. With what just happened there, he decides like, okay, I probably should go Mana Addict. Like, maybe it's a little bit safer, okay?
Even with all the protection they have, I think that's the way to go. And really having Convection and also Master's Touch just ripping every single time, I don't think it's going to be very good for the team, of course. It's a solid choice, of course. Having the barrier later on will help him sustain and live so much more.
Well, hooks have not been good from Gondar this game. Perhaps feeling the pressure now. It's the second week of HGC. He's not able to connect with anything. Got a minion earlier. That minion got wrecked, but We'll see if you can step it up here. The early game not going to be the more important hooks are going to come in the later stage of the game with the longer death timers, which in Korean Heroes this map usually goes very long, not so much in the West. So dealing with Cho'Gall going to be a challenge yet again, but the focus is going to want to be on the Ariel every time, or punish the Anub'arak when he darts in, and then perhaps then the Aegis comes out early.
Ooh, pretty good hooks coming out again.
There's a good one. Again, the sustain makes it so it's impossible to get a follow-up kill. But
but after 10, when they have Cursed Bullet, when they put every single resource onto Cho'Gall, I think they can actually get a kill. Even with the heals coming from Ariel, it has to be on cooldown for the next few seconds. So if they put every single thing into Cho'Gall with Kelta's burst damage, CC from Medivh later on, with the late line seal too, I think they can get a kill onto Cho'Gall. It's 2 kills too.
Well, I mean, it's really about the dive here that we're seeing yet again. Dudu actually even gets hooked there at the end. I'll try to save him, but when you have the dive onto the squishy mage, like we're seeing here, it was the problem for reset on the previous map on Braxis, and now on Tomb of the Spider Queen, we're seeing the dive coming in onto Dudu. So punishing the mage, Mora should be able to get out. No! Detainment strike is good. But anyway, Mora gets picked here as well, so we can see the dive is real for Cho'Gall so far. He's just going in, having those extra heals from the Ariel, and starts to wonder if this is going to become meta after seeing it work so well twice now.
That's exactly what I was thinking at the moment too.
I'm like, well, this is like pretty solid. I don't know. Like, I guess maybe these teams potentially everyone figured this out and we didn't see it last week.
Dudu got picked off again.
But it could be that they just accidentally made the new broken thing. I doubt it. I think this is probably pretty well planned. We just haven't heard anything about this. No whisperings of it in the Korean scene, and no indication so far that this was going to make a comeback.
Well, Cho'Gall throughout lots of patches has been getting small buffs once every patch, like once every other patch, and no one really realized how strong Cho'Gall is until this point. And it seems like both teams are really using Cho'Gall right now, and it's just getting body blocked out of that game.
it. Kyocha comes over for the detainment strike. He is just struggling to get back into this. Wiz is like, I'm not Ariel anymore.
He's saying, thank God that Mora came at the right time. Actually, Mora playing Medivh this time.
Yeah.
There was also no ammo onto both turrets on the wall, so they could just body block all freely they wanted to. With the sustain, he can just, look at this, 4v3, I guess.
Yeah, 4v3. They get all 3 lanes pushed with this. The solo lane with Greymane against Malthael is Malthael favored. You have Anub'arak with the Beetles in the mid lane, so they're getting extra soak. So they're basically going to get at least 2 walls from this, possibly 3. And as you can see, Rich just casually walks out. Well, they get the kill onto Dudu. I think that's his 3rd death this game.
And this entire time, they've been pushing the middle fort at the same time. Greymane can only clear out 1 lane, of course. Got the Web Weaver on the bottom, but this mid fort is, I'm pretty sure it's almost gone.
Well, bot fort here. No Chat is dove upon. Look at the body block now from Reset on top of the extra choke point there for Tis to look for the knock-up. No Chat barely gets away, but this is now another lane that's no ammo. The mid lane lost its wall. The top lane lost its fort. And Vivi Black looks to regain composure here, having a dominant performance in this second game. 1/4 of the way to level 10 here. As you see, Burn Flesh is taken for Kael'thas. Hold here for Malfurion, no cleanse. He's like, oh wait, I forgot Malfurion doesn't cleanse. What do I pick? He's like, do I pick Mule?
Well, they're diving in. They're right before 10, and BlossoM, of course, down 2 levels. Just low on scaling, but okay, Malfurion also going for more damage on Moonfire.
Well, this invade continues, and if BlossoM messes, if BlossoM comes in and messes this up, nice hook, almost gets the pick. If they come in and lose a member, then Black gets 10 and they get wiped. So I like the cautious approach here. I like the hook attempt too. Had there been no burrow charge available, that would have been a pick for sure. But BlossoM is just having to play very passively right now. They know this 10 is right around the corner. There's just not much they can do about it. So coming out now, maybe the same builds from all members here. The Cocoon going to be very useful. Can actually knock either Medivh or Malfurion out of the fight to remove that protection. And then Kael'thas is going to yet again be the dove upon target. Mora knocked away from his portal, can't actually get in. Tis drops down the Cocoon. Are they going to collapse on this? No chat. Find himself in trouble if so.
Does have 26 gems on himself. Target's on Wiz now, and there is no way of escaping this.
Good collapse there. This looks like it's probably just going to be a second web we return in for Black. They're 5 gems away in possession from that turn-in. A clean and safe one.
BlossoM is super passive because Black has been pushing so far, because they do have better wave clear also, and if BlossoM wants to bring back their wave clear, they have to have Kael'thas in the front, clearing all these waves. But every time Kael'thas wants to step over the line, there is always Cho'Gall onto his face. Just like this. So Dudu has to go back, really forces the lack of wave clear even more for BlossoM. Smart plays coming out from Black right now.
You can bet he's super happy he did not take Convection right now.
for sure. He died like 4 times.
His 4 deaths. Nearly 5, but escaped that last time. Master's Touch still ongoing here for Mora, who hasn't died yet. He's gotten close a few times, but this is going to be the double web we return in. BlossoM can't contest without the heroics. So we'll see if Envy Black just splits into 3 groups again. Heroics almost ready here for BlossoM. Would have been so nice to have that just a moment ago. Here we go, the Burrow Charge dive in. They're unable to get the stuns locked together. Avoid that route. And back away, but the sub-hero push could start to threaten these keep walls. I mean, it definitely will in mid. As you can see, they're on it already. Lots being prepped for this.
Gorge with the portal. I think they're looking for it. Here we go. Are we getting a portal here?
Okay, here we go. The Silence comes in. And they will actually kill Cho'Gall immediately in this fight. So that's the quick double, if you will. That actually is going to kind of shut this push down entirely. Rich still trying to split push and, Reset trying to split push and set up that bot lane. Actually gets himself caught here for just a moment.
As we pointed out from the beginning, they literally spent every single resource to take out Cho'Gall. But that was actually pretty quick too. And Auriel a little bit far away for the time being, really lacked. They got 2 kills. That's exactly what they wanted. So I think after hitting 10, they have a really good chance to come back into this game now, I think.
Well, they have over 100 gems carried. They need to turn in the first ones right away. I don't know who's currently leading possession right now, but it's a lot of gems carried by, even you can see your Mora with 22. So
I think Greymane is holding like close to 40 now. Or
something like that for sure. Now, MVP, knowing they're likely going to lose the turn-in no matter what, there's not much they can do to delay this. They take the boss. Meanwhile, actually, because BlossoM is being so passive, perhaps scared of a party bush, they go down to their Merc camp, which isn't available. Not entirely sure about this rotation for BlossoM to the bot lane. And they give away a boss for free and fail to get a turn-in. So definitely some weird macro play out of BlossoM in this moment where they should have at least, at worst case scenario, gotten a turn-in. Instead, they just walked past an already taken Merc camp.
Yeah, they weren't really sure where Black was at the time. Being, there's a hook onto Gorge,
this is sick.
This is perfect. Onto Cho'Gall, and there can not be any protection, no Aegis available for Cho'Gall at all.
Okay, we'll see if Reset is going to make this worth it. He does go ahead and drop down his heroic in the fight, doing a lot of extra damage here. The protection is coming out here for Kyocha, when he gets that very quick Hope regen coming out from Malthel's damage. So it ends up being like a positive trade, really like 1v4 there for Reset, but they don't accomplish much more than that. Gonna wait for Rich and Sake to respawn so they can come over here and look for turn-in denial at the gems. BlossoM is carrying such a dangerously high amount, 124. I mean, this is really risky. If they lose a team fight, they just lose all their gems.
I think that's giving them more pressure because if they die trying turning in, it's literally nothing. I think they're really looking for the pick and really lose all the pressure onto multiple lanes. There's a Gorge again. Let's see if he can get a pick. Mora comes around from the side. No following up CC, so Tusk will actually escape from there. But those hooks with the Gorge connecting Gondar seems very scary right now for Black.
Oh, we are going to have the Mono Barrier available here with the Mana Addict quest completing. So a little bit more protection here for Dudu, who had so much trouble in the early game to stay alive. He's also got a ton of mana at this point too. We'll just continue to grow with that, get a bigger shield. This is a nice attempted trap here. The protection is real onto Gondar though. Not the best portal I've ever seen, but even with the Detainment Strike, the protection came out, and he will live. As you can see, Reset is just pushing the bot lane. He's just soaking, trying to get them up to that level 16 talent tier advantage. But again, the gems carry that keeps going up every time I say it, like by 20. We're at 120 before, now we're at 144. Really scary moment for BlossoM, and the more they carry, the more risky it becomes to turn in, the less likely they are to look for those turn-ins.
Cuckoo's Malfurion from the side, and here comes Maltho from the side. Dudu is the target that he's looking for. Wiz gets out-positioned on the back line. They're looking for multiple picks here.
Okay, here comes the dive in from Cho'Gall. Gondar finds himself caught. Nice Leylon here, but Wiz with the ice block will finally get taken out here. But we're going to see the body block here. The shove now onto Gondar. He's caught. Detainment Strike doesn't get the stun, but it will get the kill eventually there. As is a 2-for-0 trade. Not a trade, a steal. Stolen away. Black looking for the third one tomorrow. They will get it.
And
this is all the gems I'm talking about.
They dropped about 70-something.
80, I think, even at this point. Like, this is the big worry. This is the fear when you're holding this many gems.
Oh my goodness, they're just tearing one by one apart. Cho'Gall after hitting 16 with all the aerial healing coming out. Ugh. Lacking all the sustain from BlossoM, and I gotta say they were a little bit caught off guard and out position. They were really trusting too much onto Medivh's portal.
They made an aggressive play when they didn't have vision. They made a passive play when they didn't have vision. That was the wrong one. The aggressive play was also the wrong one here. Dudu's positioning getting punished there by Reset. So now Black's up 2 levels. They have the keep down. They have the catapult pressure for the rest of the game. Top keeps threatened by that early boss, and all the gems removed. And Black may get another back-to-back Webby return in here. They're close. Right now holding 50 gems, looking for 10 more.
It's one off, and I think they will get it very soon eventually. And BlossoM, they've been really pressured around the map, even though they had Medivh flying around and spotting all these heroes up on top and bottom. BlossoM, I feel like because they were holding so much, they couldn't really be aggressive and go in because there's the cocoon, the initiation, all the engage from Black. There are just more tools, and BlossoM is literally looking for the hooks and the gorge and the pickoff.
Okay, well look at this blow up already. Gondar's like, I got him! Like, well, might be turned around on you as the upgraded turnaround here. The cocoon goes down. The cocoon looks pretty upgraded there, but it's not. It just was like really big for some reason. I'm not
because
entirely
of stitches.
Yeah, not entirely sure why that freaked me out for a second. I was like, whoa, what is that cocoon? I'm like, they're not even level 20. Why would you ever pick the level 20 cocoon? Nobody does that. But this is going to be the triple kill, and Black will close out the series. What a weird one this was. I mean, the Cho'Gall's on both sides. The Cho'Gall Ariel, we saw Malthael several times this evening. I think the drafts that we see in the next series are going to be very much more standard, and the drafts that we see tomorrow I think will normalize a little bit. Big ley line seal here, but the Web Weavers look like they want to finish the job. Catapult minions in the bot will help it happen, and that's going to be it, 13-4. MV Black without the sweep they were looking for in this series, but they finished the series with smiles. And as you said, even though it doesn't feel that significant to just look at it from this perspective, but when every other top-tier team, I'm talking top 3, is 3-0ing BlossoM, if you're the one that drops the map, that is going to affect your standing.
Yep, that's right, and we saw a very interesting draft coming out from both teams with Cho'Gall happening. And I've got to say, BlossoM really showed what they could do. They really showed their potentials. They have something against these stronger teams, and they can take maps off of MVP Black, possibly off of other teams too, Waiting, Mighty, Tempest, and also L5 later on. So I think BlossoM will be in the, not in the bottom as they were in phase number 1. I can think they have a very good chance to actually climb up to the middle place spots, like 4th, 5th.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I don't know exactly where they're going to fall. I think it's too early to call, but I think that given what we've seen so far, you could make a bold prediction like that one. And we'll see if they can follow through with it. Obviously, they might replace GG in terms of ranking, with GG, of course, disbanding. So I assume that we're going to hear from Rich because of all the Melthail picks. He played Cho in that last game as well.
Right.
And it's his opening day match, so he probably will be the post-game interview MVP, as we say, although it's not technically an MVP award. I really want to see what is discussed about the Melthail being left open on Battlefield of Eternity, because that was a bit crazy for me that we saw that occur, and they just left it open and then took it. So I would like to see like what his thought process was leaving it open, and then how he felt about just being able to take it. Because I feel like Black wanted to bait that pick, and then when they didn't take it, Black was like, well, I guess we just get it. That would be something that I'm personally interested in, and if we don't get an interview, then I'll probably just text Rich and ask him.
I actually want to ask Wiz what their thought process against just leaving that open for Black to actually take it. I'm pretty sure Varian was the answers with the Colossus Smash that we saw at the very end, but not the best one. Of course, as you can see, BlossoM is experimenting a lot, as we just saw from this series. And this series, I think, is the best series so far in phase number 2.
Really? I don't know, man. I like Mighty
I was
Miracle.
very hyped. We never see Cho'Gao in Korea. We saw it twice already.
We also saw Braxis.
Yeah, from MVP Black.
I guess in terms of weird picks and craziness, I would agree with you, but got to go back to that Mighty Miracle series. That was a really good one.
That was a really good one for sure, but Cho'Gao seems very OP from what we just saw, with lots of protection, especially with Medivh on your side.
I think that Cho'Gao is to be not underestimated, especially with how good the Ariel positioning has been all day. The Medivh protection we saw, BlossoM prioritizing there. Kind of a cool pick. I don't know if it'll become meta, but you could definitely see why we would have seen maybe some of the Cho'Gao picks in the previous matches going into Phase 1. Some of the matches that Cho'Gao looked really terrible and fell really flat. So you could see it when it's executed like this, why it might have been picked back then. But it's time for an interview. I assume it's with Rich. If I'm wrong, I'm crazy, but Jacob's going to bring you guys a translation amidst the sounds of these trumpets.
네, 나왔습니다. 와, 리치!
And he's here.
와!
It's Rich on.
둔! 네, 예.
아직 안
그렇죠. 오늘 총괄 나와가지고
저한테 한번 해보세요.
네, 바로 나오죠.
Here he is.
이제 새롭게 지금 복귀하고
And of
오늘
course, back
MVP로
to
선정이
HGC
됐는데요.
in
자,
MVP
오늘
Black.
경기 해본 소감 어떠셨어요?
How did it feel playing on
원래
competitive
그
today?
초갈이 저희가 연습 단계에서 써가지고
Cho'Gao, we did
프락시스에서
practice a
저희가
little bit,
쓰려고 준비했던 건데 갑자기
and it was actually
BlossoM이
something
가져가서
we
다
had
몰랐어요.
installed, and BlossoM used it
서로
instead.
이제 견제를 한 거네요.
예,
네.
그러니까 이제 이번 시즌은 초칼이 미래다.
So are you saying
초칼을
Cho'Gao is the
잡는 자,
future?
승리를 따낸다.
네.
Phase number
법칙이
2.
좀 있다고 생각하세요?
그거는 상황을 봐야 되는데
예.
일단은
I think it depends on the draft.
같아가지고
I think Ariel is
아우리엘에
really
맞는
highly
것들은 다 좋은
put
것
on supports right now.
저는 굉장히 좀 일침 토크를 하는데
네.
오늘 라가나로스
Well, today you're rack.
많은 그런 팬들이 좀 기대를 많이
A
했어요.
lot of the fans, the Korean fans and global fans has been expecting a better play from you a little bit.
그런 경기를 했는데
But your rag was a little bit off.
라가나로스 할 때 좀 어땠어요?
How was the game?
너무 고통스러웠어요.
It was very
고통
painful.
자체?
근데 원래 말티엘 라인을 못
Malthiel
이기는데
was-
어떻게든 이겨가지고 버티려고 했는데
I was
초갈이
just trying to
너무
sustain in
세더라고요.
lane. It's just,
같은 망치를 들고 있는데
어,
제 거는 더 약한 기분이었어요.
그렇죠.
but we were both holding
네.
weapons in our hands, but mine was
네.
apparently so much weaker.
그렇죠. 그러다 보니까 경기가 좀 터져 있었고 그
I
마지막에
love Rich
그
so
다음
much.
경기에서 지금 회초리 메타, 참교육 메타를 꺼내들었거든요. 그때 선수들과 좀 어떤 이야기를
And of course,
했던가요?
coming back with game number 4,
그냥-
the revenge.
뭔가
How did the
초갈하면
players
무조건
respond?
이길 것 같다고 해가지고 뽑았는데 근데 진짜 너무 무난하게 이겨가지고
We thought it was
뭔가
doable at the end.
초갈만 하면 이기는 그런 게임이 된 것 같기도 하고 그래요.
그래요.
And
우리
it
많은
seems like
분들이
it's from the
이
series that we just had. It seemed
복귀를
like
축하해주고
if you pick
계신데
Cho'Gao, you win.
아바투르 토크.
네.
아바투르가
And here comes
계속
Avatar
이제
interview.
질문을 하겠습니다. 지금
Question from the
다이어트를
fans.
진행하고 있다는 얘기가 지금 들리는데
And we've been
MVP
hearing that
수준에
you're on a
들어간
diet.
뒤에 다이어트가 잘 진행되고 있는지 그
Has
어느
it been
정도까지
continuing after you
진행됐고
came
앞으로
into the
목표는
team
또
house
어느
of MVP
정도까지인지.
Black?
그 질문이 좀 들어왔습니다.
그게 근데 숙소에 들어오기 전에
Was
20kg를 빼고 들어왔어요.
I lost 20 kg
네.
before coming
숙소에
into the team
들어오자마자
house.
지금 일주일 만에 1kg가 쪄가지고.
But within the last week, I
MVP
gained
블랙에서 이제
1 kilogram.
어.
그 스크린만 끝나면은 뭐 먹으러 가자고 하고.
Every time we were
어디
done
김밥집
screaming,
가자고
they say,
하고.
"Let's go out
특히
and
사케 형이
eat."
제일 많이 끌고
Especially
가는 것 같아요.
Sake, he wants to drag me out.
그 컨트롤에 살이 점점 오르고 있다.
네.
그 살이 오른 만큼 물 오른 경기력을 선보이면 되는
As
거
you gain
아닙니까?
more weight, you can
그것도
give
있는데
more
사케
mechanical
형이
skills
뭔가
too.
막 템나서 그런 건지 자꾸 먹이려고 해요.
아,
음.
I think it's
여기서,
because Sake
사케
is
선수가
jealous
지금
that I
살
lost so
뺀다고
much weight.
하니까 오히려
He's
더
trying to
먹이려고
네.
get me
한다라는
fattened up
그
again.
이야기고.
원래 그런 재미를 좀 이렇게 숙소 생활을 하는 건데 저도 이제
That's the
궁금한
fun
게
of
하나
Team
있어요.
House, of course.
사실 리치 복귀
Anyone in
무대를 위해서
Anyone in the stream who
오늘
like
약간
doesn't know Korean culture probably just thinks you're making these
1세트에
translations
좀
up.
그런 것이 아닌가. 이런 것도
I'm
굉장히
not lying, guys.
궁금했는데 좀 분위기가 좀 어땠나요?
How is it like coming back into
그냥
the team house?
전체적으로 다 좋았고요. 근데 1, 2단 자체가 지금 유럽 경기에서도 보셨듯이
Atmosphere
엄청나게
is
좋아요.
super good, but as you
얼마
can
전에
see,
리퀴드가
Illidan
1,
is
2단 써서 디그니
very, very strong. You saw from lots of EU
1,
matches.
2단에 대한 연구를 많이 했던 것 같아요.
We prepared, we studied hard with Illidan.
준비가 정말 잘 돼 있네요. 네,
그렇죠.
여러 가지로.
그러면 사실 이렇게 지금 들어와서 이제 선수들과 다시 합을 마치게 됐는데
And of course, you're
그
back in the team
연습을
now,
통해서
practicing
어느 정도
together,
자신감을 좀 얻어냈을 것 같은데
getting the
MVP 블랙
teamwork.
이번 시즌 어떤 행보를 걸을 것 같습니까?
How do you see yourself,
클래시는
your journey
무조건
into the
갈것
phase 2?
같고요.
I think we're very likely to go to the Clash,
할수 있을 것 같아요. 근데 블리즈컨도 갈 수는 있을 것 같은데 거기서 이제
and also to
다른
the
해외 팀들이
BlizzCon.
너무 잘해져가지고
네.
많이 걱정될 것
But
같아요.
European
그래도
teams are very
리치하면
strong, of
해야죠.
course. It's something to
네,
worry
네.
about
차지할 수
for
있는
us.
거 아닙니까? 네.
할 수 있을 것 같기도 하고.
Can you
그렇군요. 그럼 뭐
become the
개인적으로
new
좀
champion of the
이번
BlizzCon?
시즌에 HGC 코리아에서 좀
He is not
까다롭다고
too
생각하는
sure.
팀 있어요?
템페스트가 많이 까다로울 것 같아요.
I think Tempest is
거기서
very,
해파리 선수가 있잖아요.
very strong
네.
right now in
제일
Korea.
잘한다. 그런 이야기하고 있는데 개인적으로 말티엘 어떻게 생각하세요?
잘해요.
How do you
저도
think Malthael is right now?
말티엘을 제가 근데 맨 처음에 나왔을 때 안 좋게 보고 있었어요.
I thought Malthael was very weak
해보니까
at the beginning
좋더라고요,
when it
그래가지고.
came out.
성과를 좀 바꾸고 이제 태태 전환을 해서 맨날 해파리님 방송을 봤어요.
But I watched a lot of
제가
H82 actually
그걸
playing
보면서 좀 특성
Malthael,
연구를 하고
and I learned
해가지고
from H82.
잘 된 것 같아요.
그렇죠. 이게 좀
And after
안
adapting
좋다
into
생각했는데
myself
상대 선수가 보는 걸 보고
playing Malthael, I think Malthael is very
야,
strong.
그러면 이제 수많은 팬분들 앞에서 리치가 이제 복귀했으니까 좀 어떤 모습 보여주겠다 한 말씀 해주신다면요.
네. You want to have any shout-outs at the end?
6개월
fans?
정도 만에 복귀인데
About 6
데뷔-
months that and
복귀
then now
전
I'm
잘
back in
치러서
HGC.
기분 좋고 앞으로도 좋은 모습 보여드리도록
I will just keep
네,
striving
앞으로도
myself to
선전한
have
모습
better
기대하겠습니다.
performances
예,
for the
축하드립니다.
competitive.
자 이렇게 이번 경기가 종료가 됐습니다. 경기
And
결과
that's the interview
정리해드리겠습니다.
with Rich.
And here are our results as we had the 3-1 score for MVP Black. And it's been a pretty interesting series so far today. The Cho'Gall's coming out. Cho'Gall versus Cho'Gall. We'll see if that continues. As you can see, Rich was clearly prepared to play the Cho'Gall today. The MVP Black had been working towards that. We'll see if L5 and Tempest, our upcoming match, which should be a much closer series, if they'll be running the Cho'Gall as well. So definitely a high chance that we see that, considering that we saw it so much in the first best of 5.
Yeah, that's right. But as you said, we're not done. We're going to have second match L5 versus Tempest coming up right after the commercial break. So keep your pants on, as Wolf said. We're going to be right back on the same channel.